Now, ladies and gentlemen, it just got confirmed that CS2 is 64 tick and doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. This is both for Premier and normal matchmaking. Meanwhile, Faceit's new ranking structure and system entirely is currently sitting at 128. For those of you who do have access to CS2, the majority, if not every single player, has complained about a connection issue at some point in time. If that's the server or your bullets and movement not registering properly. Now, the community's reaction to Faceit's new system rolling out last week was somewhat to be expected. Most have said nothing's really changed because this is how things were in Global Offensive, but on the other half of things, including myself, many are upset because it feels like CS2 for the first few months actually had something going for itself in-game rather than having a third-party client. You had Premier mode, brand new leaderboards for the world, your region, and even your friends list. It seemed like Valve knew what they were doing and not going to drop the ball. They were on top, and they had a chance to make Counter-Strike 2's Premier matchmaking the main place where everyone plays. But in the last week, that's all changed. Today's video, I want to discuss how much of an absolute mess this entire situation is, where there has now been a battle created essentially between Faceit and Valve. I want to give my personal thoughts, some people in the comments, but also ask the golden question. How will this affect the CS space going forward with CS2's growth? Now, today's video sponsor is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a buying and trading marketplace for your CS items. It makes a safe and easy way to trade out your inventory for something new. By using my code MANDO, you can get a deposit bonus of 35% alongside a free $5 in your first trade, with a max bonus if you spend $100 or more. With a large variety of skins, deposit options, alongside daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways, they're doing a great job rivaling other competition. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. Now, very quickly, this is Luke in the post edit. Today's video is a few days old, but it's still extremely relevant. We've had countless players ask about the tick rate, anti-cheat, and the discussion of the underwhelming state that it being CS2. In this past week, we've learned a lot about the game, the community, but also a war between Valve and Faceit. We now know that Valve has hard-coded CS2 with 64 tick, which is essentially, as of for now, from what we know, downgraded Faceit to 64. Of course, we're not even in a beta. This is the limited test. Everything is subject to change. I'm just talking about what we know and what we can see as of right now in the hopes that something gets changed for the full game. So firstly, for today's video, I want to talk about the development of CS2 and why they didn't go with 128, but when they went with a brand new system called the sub-tick system. On paper, it's just as good as 128 from what we've been shown. Now, data miners and people who are really hardcore into game creation will probably tell me a little bit differently alongside you guys. That's how Valve kind of put it anyway in those trailers, and I've talked about it on social media. Now, it does feel very close, if not a little better than 128, but there's a very big catch to this. You have to have an absolute NASA-like connection, and most people just don't have it. Me, as of right now, we're very far from that. It takes me well over an hour to upload a video. Well, that's because I'm choosing to live in the middle of nowhere. For most people, when you get into a game, it feels like 64 tick or worse. That's what most people have voiced their opinions about. So I quickly want to ask and answer a very important question. Why did they do it? Why did they cheap out on this? Why did they change it? This is just what it looks like from my perspective and some other people's as well, but I think it's just money, 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 and people are absolutely pissed, including myself. Yes, Valve still wants to make as much money as possible, even if it means trying something new or a budget-friendly option. They are a company just like most others. But the main reason people are upset is because it's CS2. We waited countless years and, well, this is the end result. Now CS2 isn't really make or break, it's just CSGO with better graphics. So why did everyone like the idea of being on one game? No third-party client, no other software you have to launch. You launch CS2, there you go. Everyone can play. You're playing the same version that the pros play, do the same things that they do, because in 64 versus 128, the game changes quite a bit. Reason number one, everyone is connected. There's no separation. ranks matter, easier to find games because everyone's on the same server. And number two, which I think is very important, is CS2 would be more noob friendly to people coming in. If this is from Valorant, they're buying their first PC, they want to try Counter-Strike out for the first time, maybe they're a higher leveler in Valorant, and creating a Faceit account isn't necessarily hard, it's just a big pain and such a big to-do to play Counter-Strike. And this would stray new players away in theory versus things like Valorant where everyone can play on the same game and it's just viable. And I've talked about this countless times in Mando Monday, separate commentaries just for this subject, but it's pretty crazy. You look at any other AAA game, every other big competitive game, most if not all besides CS play on the game. They don't have to launch any third-party softwares such as an anti-cheat, which that could be a whole thing on its own, but you guys get the point. The leaderboards, live vac, and this new Premier mode really had something going, but it all just may be lost now. Now on the bright side of things, is there hope? Sure, but right now it doesn't seem likely. Some are saying yes. Reasonings for this. They want to test out the servers, they want to test out the water and who's playing their game. Now what I mean by that, as a lot of people know and are thinking, they've come across in their certain games of people cheating. And while VAC live, that means it's going to happen live in your game and end the match. And that hasn't been working. Some data miners and players are thinking that it's not working purposely to see what cheaters are doing and what software they're using so Valve can block it for its full release. That's a really good idea. Is Valve doing it? I don't really know. If we go off things in the past, probably not. We'll really have to wait and see. Another question I want to ask and answer is Faceit the reason for Valve not putting any work into this matchmaking or just matchmaking in general throughout throughout the years? That's a big question I've had, and I also think that's a big reason why it hasn't changed. If you want to play like and with the pros, then go to Faceit. You want to play and run into daily cheaters, have a broken ranking structure, your rank means nothing, only pick Mirage, then go play matchmaking. It's just never really a win-win here. And I think it's crazy that if we don't get anything changed for its full release, I'm not necessarily going to be surprised, but it's a huge ball that just got dropped. For the near future and release of CS2, my only hope is possibly that Valve partners up with Faceit. Faceit gets integrated inside of Counter-Strike 2. Instead of downloading something else that's already in the game, ready to go. That could possibly just get added to Premier mode. I'm also going to end on this. We are technically not even in a beta. It's still a limited test, just with a lot of people now. So Valve still has a lot of time to fine-tune things. Maybe their matchmaking isn't great on purpose. Maybe VAC Live isn't working for a very specific purpose. Maybe at its full release, this new sub-tick system will be on par with 128, possibly better. And well, if that happened, that would create even more division in the community because it would truly be a real war between Faceit and matchmaking. Let me know what you guys think down below about this entire situation. It's pretty crazy that we have to talk about this still in 2023, and I don't think it's going to be going away anytime soon either. If you guys enjoy videos like this, me giving commentaries on Counter-Strike, something I'm very passionate about, feel free to subscribe for weekly videos. Leave a like, it always helps with the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay positively sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.